Hey guys, welcome back to the Wellham's World YouTube channel and welcome back to the Wellham's World Advent Calendar. Today is day number 7 and we are looking at a tier list today. We've got a Christmas tier list. It's not gaming related or anything like that, but it is Christmas related and it's to do with Christmas dinner, which is everyone's, well, I don't know about everyone, but it's certainly my favourite part of Christmas is the food. Something I look forward to about Christmas, especially back when I lived at home and I had my mum making me a Christmas dinner every year. We've got 15 components of Christmas dinner and we've got 5 tiers today. We've got must have, good, Christmas dinner staple, take it or leave it and get away from my plate. And the items that we have are applesauce, cranberry sauce, gravy, green beans, ham/gammon, mashed potato, mashed swede, roasted parsnips, pigs in blankets, roasted carrots, roast potatoes, Brussels sprouts, stuffing, turkey, and Yorkshire pudding. And it's quite a straightforward tier list, really. For me, I think for the most part, I can quite simply. Mashed swede is the worst thing in existence. The worst food item on this list by a mile is mashed swede. It's disgusting, to the point where I wouldn't want it on my plate or eat it, but my mum would always say, whatever she makes, we were all having some of it. It used to be like that with sprouts, but I can kind of endure sprouts now. I'm not really too upset by having sprouts on my plate. But swede is still something that I would much rather not have, to the point where she would, rather than doing roasted carrots, she would mash carrots in with the swede, so it was mashed swede and carrot, just to ensure that I ate it. So that tells you everything you need to know about my thoughts on mashed swede. I think it's fucking gross. But moving on to take it or leave it, and I think there are a few things that could kind of go in here. They're kind of, the way I've set it out, obviously, is good and must have is like crucial items to be on a Christmas dinner. Good are things that maybe you could do without that I really enjoy. Christmas dinner staples are kind of those where I'm like, I might be neither here nor there in relation to enjoying them, but it's not really a Christmas dinner without them. But take it or leave it, it's the stuff that my mum specifically as well, or certain things that my mum would make, or in the wider grand scheme of things that I've seen or heard that people have on their Christmas dinners that I don't necessarily think need to be on there, or that there's something that I would rather have, or I like them, but do you need it? And I think the first one is mashed potato. We've got roast potatoes in here, which I do think are in must have. So why would you wouldn't want both? And if I had to choose, it would be roast. And I think this is more maybe an American thing, but I think mashed potato for me, take it or leave it. I think even in a regular roast that's not on Christmas, I'd still rather have roast potatoes and mashed potatoes. The next one for me is green beans. Again, I'd have them on a normal roast. I'd have them on a Christmas dinner, really. I'd take them, and I'd have them if they were on offer, but I wouldn't say it's crucial. I still like them, and I still think they're good. But just don't think they're necessary. I think when you've got quite a lot of stuff on the plate, just adding green beans for what's sake, is just unnecessary. And the final one, it's one of those where I'm like, maybe it could go in good because I do really like them. Maybe it could even potentially go in Christmas dinner staple, but I'm going to put roasted parsnips in it. I do really like parsnips, but I just don't know if it's if I had all of these things on a Christmas dinner, would I then also want parsnips as well? Or the other way to look at it is, if I had all of these things and then you include parsnip in all of this, which one would be the one that I'd kind of sacrifice as, maybe I don't need that? And I think it is parsnips. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So moving on up, we have Christmas dinner staples. The first one of being Brussels sprouts. The only times I'll actually voluntarily eat Brussels sprouts is Christmas dinner. On a regular roast, I just wouldn't put them on. Wouldn't want them really necessarily. I don't find them massively enjoyable, so having them one time a year is absolutely fine with me. But I do feel like it's one of those things where it's so synonymous with a Christmas dinner that if you didn't have them on there, it'd be a bit it'd be a bit weird for me looking at a Christmas dinner and not seeing sprouts on there. The next is cranberry sauce. Actually, I think cranberry sauce is a more staple than applesauce in terms of being a Christmas dinner sauce. I'd much rather have apple personally, but I think in a grand scheme of things, people in general would probably say cranberry sauce is a more Christmassy sauce, or it's a more synonymous with Christmas. And the final one, it may be a little bit controversial, but just remember the reasoning behind this tier is not necessarily that it's mid or that I'm not a fan of it. It's a staple of a Christmas dinner, but again, I think ham/gammon is something that I'd rather take over turkey. I think turkey, I'd also rather have as a meat chicken than turkey, because I think turkey can be very dry. But I think it's one of those things where you look at a turkey and you think, well, that is what Christmas dinner is, right? It's, the classic sort of traditional Christmas dinner involves a turkey. And I think that's all I can really say about these, is that they should realistically be on the table. But I'm just kind of neither here nor there, and there's preferences for me, so that's why they go there. And we're going on to good, which I think the first one in good is applesauce. I would much rather have applesauce than cranberry sauce if I could only choose one. However, I choose both, and I'd have applesauce on fucking anything really, or any roast dinner, not just Christmas. But that's why I think it's not necessarily a Christmas dinner staple, but I do think it's absolutely delicious. And I think the next is carrots, roasted carrots. I think they're good. I don't necessarily think they're a must-have, but I think they're not far off. But they are absolutely delicious, especially if you've got like honey roasted or caramelized or something like that, then absolutely. I think the final one in good is Yorkshire puds. Obviously, I don't know if globally people have Yorkshire puddings. I think they call them maybe batter puddings in other places, or they have other names for them. But specifically, I would always eat Yorkshire puddings first if they're on the table. I don't necessarily think they're a must-have. I don't think they're necessarily a Christmas dinner staple. At least they are in the UK, but in general. But I just really love them. I think they're great. But I think you could potentially get away with not having them on your plate at Christmas. I think you could get away with that and it not be too controversial. And finally, we're into the must-haves, and we've absolutely flown through this because it's, like I said, it's very straightforward, very self-explanatory tier list for me. Roast potatoes, I think, are a must-have. I think you've got to have a potato on there. And who would choose mash over roast potatoes, especially when they've got a bit of crunch on them? I think there's not really a lot of people that would say that roast potatoes shouldn't be on a Christmas dinner. I think you're a bit of a nutter. The next is gravy. If you don't have gravy on a roast dinner, you're a fucking freak. Just kidding, but also not kidding, because if you've got something like turkey, which can be quite dry, something like stuffing, which can potentially be quite dry, and Yorkshire puddings as well, which could, like, why would you not want something to soak them up? Like, why would you not want to, moisten your food and make it easier for you to palate a turkey, which is quite a dry meat? So I think gravy, if you don't have gravy on a roast, then there's something wrong there. But that's another conversation to have, isn't it? And stuffing as well. I don't really think in general when I have a regular roast dinner I'd have stuffing on it, unless I go to like a Toby Carvery. So I think it is something where it's like, it is more to do with a Christmas dinner. But again, it's a must-have. I absolutely love stuffing. Same with ham and gammon. Like I said, that would be my meat of choice. In terms of if I had to choose between ham or turkey, I would choose ham because it's just more palatable, more enjoyable to eat. And finally, the best thing on the Christmas dinner plate, pigs in blankets. And I don't know if many people would really argue with that, in terms of they tend to be, it tends to be something that you generally just find over Christmas. I don't know, obviously you can find them all year round, I imagine. But it's just something about pigs in blankets, man. It's just delicious, and it's the best thing. So I think that's my tier list. I don't necessarily think this is ranked from worst to best in terms of items on a Christmas dinner, because I think this kind of middle one is its own like separate tier, which I maybe could have done like at the bottom where it's like Christmas dinner staples, but don't really fall into another tier. Whereas mashed Swede is the fucking worst. Pigs in blankets is the absolute best. But I think turkey would kind of find its way potentially going up there, and Brussels sprouts would maybe find its way below green beans even. But in terms of how much I enjoy them to eat, but I just do think it is something that you've got to kind of have on the table. And that's it for this one. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this. Is there anything glaring that I've missed in relation to Christmas dinner? I know there'll be things like desserts, like busted my mic, like desserts such as Christmas pudding, Yule log, things like that, but I think that could probably be a separate tier list really. Whether it will or not, I don't know, but I don't think they're not like Christmas dinner components, are they? That's like dessert. But yeah, if you did enjoy, please leave a like. I'll see you tomorrow for another advent calendar video, and I'll see you next Saturday for another tier list. Until then, take care everybody, and goodbye.